I want to show you a few really simple pelvic floor release exercises that you can do with either postpartum or pregnant populations. They're quite accessible, so try them out, see how they work for you, but of course safety first. We're going to have the long box on the carriage here, all the way up against the shoulder rests. Foot bar is second from the top. Gear bar is all the way to the front. Stopper is also all the way to the front to maximize range of motion. So we're going to turn to face the front of the reformer, feet nice and wide on the foot bar. Hands on the sides, scoot your bum forward, making sure you don't go too far to the front because then it gets a little bit tippy. So from here, we're going to think nice big breath in, open up those sit bones, expand that pelvic floor, exhale, and press away. Inhale, wide sit bones, exhale, sit bones come together. So hands can be on the box the whole time. Exhale here, inhale wide, or you can have hands on the knees and the shins, whatever is more comfortable for your client. And if they've got a belly, then certainly you might find this position a little bit more accessible. You can also do this with one foot on, so just hanging one leg off to the side. If you've got one side that's a little bit grouchier than the other, this might be appropriate, and you might be able to get up a little bit taller on that sit bone to get a bit more proprioception. So again, exhale, thinking of that nice sit bone tightening in, and then inhale to widen out. Okay, I still get confused. It doesn't matter how many times I do it. I always get my inhale and exhale backwards. And so we have two options in terms of spring weight for this next one. It really depends on if you want your client with their foot on the carriage or up here on the long box. If it's going to be on the carriage, you can get away with a little bit more weight, like one full spring or one heavy spring. But if you're coming into more flexion range to get more stretch, you might want to lighten it up to half a spring or one medium spring. So it's just going to look like this. You're going to have a nice stable leg here, nice free tailbone, pressing out with that exhale, and then inhale, big release on that sit bone on the moving leg. So exhale to press, inhale in. And then if you want to, come up onto here, pressing out, and then folding in. So there has to be some nice stability happening on the stance leg, and at the same time, some freedom to release the pelvic floor on the opposite leg. If your client has some balance concerns, let's say they're pregnant or maybe freshly postpartum, I like to have a little chair here, and then they can hold the back of the chair for balance and just make sure they're safe. So it just looks like that. And lastly, we're going to go into a bilateral pelvic floor stretch. You can use one full spring or anywhere down to a half a spring, depending on what you'd like. We're going to have two hands on the long box here, feet about shoulder width. We're going to find nice free sit bones and nice neutral spine. We're going to press through, so we're hinging at the hips, lengthening through the spine, and then coming back up. So we're getting that nice separation in the pelvis here, and then coming back in. Letting those sit bones go nice and wide, and then hinging back up. If you want, you can also do this with one hand. So I like to add a little bit of rotation. We're going to take one hand, put it on the forehead. I should lighten the spring. So I had it at one full spring. I'm going to go down to a half. So one hand on the forehead, and then we get that nice rotation. So I'm actually getting more stretch on the contralateral hip compared to the arm that's pressing, in reference to the arm that's pressing. So we're rotating and reaching, nice open sit bone here, and then coming back in, rotate back to neutral, and do it again. So inhale, open that sit bone wide, and then come back. And then same thing on the other side. Okay, so give those a try. I really love them a lot.